He also was having trouble imagining where anyone could have turned up the Illuminati brand after 400 years. All I can tell you is that even if the Illuminati were still active today, which I am virtually positive they are not, they would never be involved in Leonardo Vetra's death. No? No. The Illuminati may have believed in the abolition of Christianity, but they wielded their power through political and financial means, not through terrorist acts. Furthermore, the Illuminati had a strict code of morality regarding who they saw as enemies. They held men of science in the highest regard. There is no way they would have murdered a fellow scientist like Leonardo Vetra. Kohler's eyes turned to ice. Perhaps I failed to mention that Leonardo Vetra was anything but an ordinary scientist. Langdon exhaled patiently. Mr. Kohler, I'm sure Leonardo Vetra was brilliant in many ways, but the fact remains. Without warning, Kohler spun in his wheelchair and accelerated out of the living room, leaving a wake of swirling mist as he disappeared down a hallway. For the love of God, Langdon groaned. He followed. Kohler was waiting for him in a small alcove at the end of the hallway. This is Leonardo's study, Kohler said, motioning to the sliding door. Perhaps when you see it you'll understand things differently. With an awkward grunt, Kohler heaved, and the door slid open. Langdon peered into the study and immediately felt his skin crawl. Holy Mother of Jesus, he said to himself. 12. In another country, a young guard sat patiently before an expansive bank of video monitors. He watched as images flashed before him, live feeds from hundreds of wireless video cameras that surveyed the sprawling complex. The images went by in an endless procession. An ornate hallway. A private office. An industrial-sized kitchen. As the pictures went by, the guard fought off a daydream. He was nearing the end of his shift, and yet he was still vigilant. Service was an honor. Someday he would be granted his ultimate reward. As his thoughts drifted, an image before him registered alarm. Suddenly, with a reflexive jerk that startled even himself, his hand shot out and hit a button on the control panel. The picture before him froze. His nerves tingling, he leaned toward the screen for a closer look. The reading on the monitor told him the image was being transmitted from camera number 86, a camera that was supposed to be overlooking a hallway. But the image before him was most definitely not a hallway. 13. Langdon stared in bewilderment at the study before him. What is this place? Despite the welcome blast of warm air on his face, he stepped through the door with trepidation. Kohler said nothing as he followed Langdon inside. Langdon scanned the room, not having the slightest idea what to make of it. It contained the most peculiar mix of artifacts he had ever seen. On the far wall, dominating the decor, was an enormous wooden crucifix, which Langdon placed as 14th century Spanish. Above the cruciform, suspended from the ceiling, was a metallic mobile of the orbiting planets. To the left was an oil painting of the Virgin Mary, and beside that was a laminated periodic table of elements. On the side wall, 2 additional brass cruciforms flanked a poster of Albert Einstein, his famous quote reading, "God does not play dice with the universe." Langdon moved into the room, looking around in astonishment. A leather-bound Bible sat on Vetra's desk beside a plastic boar model of an atom and a miniature replica of Michelangelo's Moses. Talk about eclectic, Langdon thought. The warmth felt good, but something about the decor sent a new set of chills through his body. He felt like he was witnessing the clash of 2 philosophical titans. An unsettling blur of opposing forces. He scanned the titles on the bookshelf. The God Particle. The Tao of Physics. God, the Evidence. One of the bookends was etched with a quote. True science discovers God waiting behind every door. Pope Pius XII. Leonardo was a Catholic priest, Kohler said. Langdon turned. A priest? I thought you said he was a physicist. He was both. Men of science and religion are not unprecedented in history.